What's up, Old Bridge? I'm Ryan.
And I'm Emmy, and welcome back to Getting Personal with Emmy and Ryan.
Today we're sitting down with the mayor of Old Bridge Township, Mayor Owen Henry.
We just wanted to thank you for being here with us today. We really appreciate it, and I know I can speak for all of Old Bridge on that.
I want to thank you for having me.
So, Mayor Henry, to start, I want to ask you the first question, probably quite obvious, but with
Nothing's
the
obvious nowadays. Yeah, go
with
ahead.
the coronavirus pandemic, how do you feel Old Bridge is handling it, and how do you feel Old Bridge has been doing so far with the pandemic?
Well, if I was you're in class and you get graded on what you've done so far, I think we're in the A's. I think we've done a lot. Everything we've had to do as a township, we've had to adjust and do differently. I believe we're ahead of the curve, as they say. As you know, we're offering testing here in Old Bridge for our residents. I don't think there's another town in New Jersey that has taken it upon themselves to offer testing. We were talking about this and working on it way before it was even announced. So I'm going back to January and February of last year. And, this all came into right around the beginning of March. We were already preparing the township for what we thought was coming, what we were being told was coming. Obviously, we never thought it was going to be for this long. We thought it was going to be over in a few months. The initial information we were getting was all over the place. How many people were going to get sick, how many people were going to die. But we started preparing the township early on in the process. And I think every day we've been doing something better. Everything that the township has done in the past was impacted by Corona. Every service we provided had to be adjusted, had to change. And here we are now, almost a year later, where we're pretty much providing all the services that we did prior to the pandemic now are available to the residents of Old Bridge. Everything we do is available, whether through Zoom, whether in person, or any other way that we have to get it done, we get it done. And we're adjusting as we go. So obviously I wish this had never happened, but being it has happened, I can't say enough about the people that have been here by my side supporting our efforts. It's been difficult. It's been challenging. As mayor, I thought I would never imagine that I would have to be dealing with something like this, nor any other elected official. I know there's a lot of doomsday predictors that maybe thought about this, but as an elected official, we never thought that we'd be dealing with something on this type of magnitude. So I think the town is doing as best as it can, given the circumstances and the conditions that's going on. And Old Bridge is one of the bigger towns in New Jersey. So whatever problem we face is larger than most towns. That's my answer. If you want me to go on any other tangent, just let me know. Any specifics?
I totally agree with what you're saying. Obviously, with the town being with the size that it is, it's definitely going to be a little bit challenging or a little bit more harder than it would be as a smaller town. So I definitely agree with what you were saying with regards to that point.
No one size fits. Every town is different. Every town is different. We don't have the inner city with the really dense population like some cities I've had to deal with. Old Bridge is a very large town population-wise, but also square miles. And it's impacted everything, not only the township, but just, as you know, our small businesses. We have a lot of small businesses in town. They've been impacted, and we've done everything in our power to try to help them, weather the storm, as they say, with support, with money. We've offered a lot of grant money to our small businesses to help them get through this. And it's really been difficult for them, especially our restaurant businesses, our gyms, our hairdressers, anyone that had whose business relied on that close physical contact has been severely impacted, as you know.
Mm.
School system, let's not forget the school system, the impact that it's had on you, the students, the teachers, the administration, the entire town.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mayor Henry, to step away from the pandemic real quick, I have kind of more of a personal and broader question for you.
Okay.
What made you want to become the mayor of Old Bridge?
Well, I just started my 9th year as mayor. I was successfully elected 3 times now, which is a great, it says a lot about our town. As I said in the beginning, I grew up in a town. My family moved from Hoboken. I was a very young, I think I was 3 or 4 months old. So I pretty much grew up here in Old Bridge. I went to the school systems here in Old Bridge. I went to the high school, the Cedar Ridge High School. Went off to college, came back, started a business, had a successful business. I just reached a point in my life where I just wanted to give back to the community. I think everyone goes through that stage at some point. Um, I had some health issues, and just a light bulb went off in my head that said I wanted to do something a little differently and dedicate the rest of my life to public service. As you know, I started off on the Board of Education, and I really enjoyed those 3 years on the Board of Ed. And then I was asked to run for mayor, um, not knowing that I was going to get more votes than the other person at the time. That was a total shock for me. But I knew I had the skill set. I knew I had the time. I knew I had the desire, and that's it worked out for me. And I'm just blessed that God has seen it and His plan for me that I'm here. I'm still here, and I plan on being here for as long as the people of Old Bridge want me. But it was it was a very easy decision for me to because I was looking for something a little different in life, and that opportunity presented itself, and I'm glad I did. It's the best job in the world. It's the best job I've ever had. Certainly the toughest job that anyone could ever have. So.
Do you think, Mayor Henry, that to the citizens of Old Bridge and the residents of Old Bridge that kind of maybe don't really not really understand what a mayor does, but kind of like overlooks it? Do you think you can maybe like describe like your responsibilities as a mayor or what you handle on a day-to-day basis, like what your what your day is like?
Well, the office of the mayor is pretty much what that person who's acting as mayor wants it to be. I came in knowing that in the past, the mayors here in Old Bridge were part-time mayors. They didn't spend a lot of time here in the office because they had to raise families, they had to make a living, they had full-time jobs, and that was one of my campaign issues that I talked about. A town the size of Old Bridge needs somebody who's going to dedicate, full-time to the office of the mayor. And so what I've done is made it a full-time position. I'm here practically almost every day, a lot of nights. And running a town this size is like running, I'm going to say managing, I don't say running it, but I come from the business background. I own the business, as I said. So I manage this town like you would a big business. It's a $56 million budget that we operate on. So it's a fairly moderate sized business. That's why I manage it. And I think that's what I brought to the office of mayor, that the township had a lot of financial problems in the past. And I came in and made some tough decisions like you would have to in the business world. And we've turned it around. The township is now doing very well financially, even as we speak in the midst of this virus when we've been put to the test as far as finances are concerned. But we are weathering. We are making decisions on a daily basis, and I'm part of that. Running the town is it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's challenging, as I said before, but it's also very rewarding. The people who I represent are very motivating. They inspire me to get up in the morning. I can't wait to get here and do good things and help somebody every day. That's probably the best part of being the mayor, is you get to help somebody every day and with the problems. But as you said, a lot of people don't understand, what the elected officials do and the mayor of a town. They just think, politicians, they see what they see on TV. Sometimes that's not the case when you go to these small, we call them small towns, but they are big towns. So it's a lot to it. And I don't think a lot of people fully understand, but I understand that they don't understand what's really involved here. It's a lot. Big work.
For
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
for life, like after the pandemic, what do you hope is for the future of this town?
Well, the future, I'm always a very optimistic. I always see the glass as half full. I mean, if you want to go back prior to the pandemic, we were the first couple of months of this year, we were doing great. Businesses were opening, housing was going through the roof, and we were, the cost of housing and housing values were increasing. We were really going in a good direction. And we've kept that during the pandemic. We are still going in a very good direction. Old Bridge has become very desirable, as we've seen a big influx of people moving here from places that have had some problems in the past. We have a lot of people coming here on the weekends looking for and buying homes from New York and Staten Island and from other places, and getting away from that city environment to the rural environment. And it's so ironic. My family did the same thing back, in the late 50s, early 50s, 60s rather. People were moving out of the cities to get to this type of environment. to raise their family and have their the children grow up in a safe environment with a good school system. And I think those same values today ring true. So the future is, I want you, the students of this town, as I said, to get your education, come back to Old Bridge and contribute and make this town even better. And that's the mayor, and that's a lot of work, because I have to make sure that when you do come back, you have a place to live besides your parents' basement. I need to make sure that you have a job, that you'll be able to become employed here locally, so you don't have to get on a bus or a train in the morning and make that commute. So it's a lot of work, and I need your help. So I need to know what you need. What do you want? What do you want Old Bridge to look like, 10, 15, 20 years from now? And that's what I'm working on. We're constantly out there every day looking to attract jobs and businesses and people to come to Old Bridge, because Old Bridge has a lot of room for development. We are pretty much 50% built out. So it's important that the decisions we make today are going to impact you, 20, 25 years from now. So it's important to me that we make those good decisions, because I can say in the past, there were some poor decisions made, and I think we're still dealing with the impact of some of those decisions that were made way back, 35, 40 years ago. So we're going to try not to make the same mistakes moving forward.
Is there any questions that you would want to ask us, Mayor Henry? Anything that you would want to hear from a student's perspective, and also maybe a
Yes,
resident perspective?
absolutely. I want to know what do you, as a seniors, what do you think of Old Bridge? Your parents, what do they think of Old Bridge? As Ed Koch used to say, how am I doing? It's important to me that, I represent you. I'm not in this for any type of self-agenda. My obligation is to support you, your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors. How are we doing? We've been just, in fact, I'm going to be talking about, we're one of the safest, I think the third safest town, in the state of New Jersey, when they look at all the facts and figures, and with our population and our crime rates, we're a very safe town, and that's important to me. Public safety, everyone needs to feel safe. And I want to keep it that way. So, what's, as students, as seniors looking at the town, how do you see it? What do you think we're doing right? What do you think we're doing wrong? What do you think we need to do better?
Well, I think that Old Bridge has very served me well, and it has helped me create lifelong friends that I think that I'll have forever. And I
Yeah.
remember, like, my mom grew up here as well, and she would always tell me stories about how she still talks to her friends that she created here. And
Yeah.
that I think, like, one thing I really love about Old Bridge is the sense of community that we have. When earlier in the pandemic, when things were starting to get like really bad, and everyone would kind of come together, help each other out in the best way they can. And like in my neighborhood, there were so many drive-bys, and everyone was so like supportive and helping each other. So that's one thing I really love about Old Bridge. And the schools, like school right now, and obviously with the circumstances we're dealing with today, like I can speak, me and Emmy probably both agree that we're very appreciative of that. Like the teachers are doing an amazing job, and that dealing with today. And I love the school system here, and I think Old Bridge is doing very well.
Good. We'll take that with you when you go. You're going to go to school. Where are you going to college? Have you finalized yet? Or
No, I have not finalized yet,
okay,
but I have some schools on my radar. But
okay. So take that same attitude with you, build on it, and bring it back with you. And then you'll get that feeling, well, I got to give back. Look how much it's given to you as a young man. Emma, what do you got? Are you going to continue, Ryan? You got some more?
no, I mean, is there anything you want to say, Emmy?
I definitely agree with Ryan. Like, my family didn't grow up here, but me and my siblings have lived here like our whole lives. And there isn't like anywhere else I'd rather live, because our community is so close and everybody's so supportive of each other. And that's like one of the reasons why I do love it. And the teachers are absolutely amazing. Like throughout high school, middle school, like all ages, like I've made so many memories here with like lifelong friends.
Yeah, that's important to me. I've gone through the same thing, so I can say exactly the same thing you're saying. I mean, the teachers that I had, I still know their names. I don't remember what I did yesterday, but I can tell you all the teachers I had growing up in the schools and the impression they made on me and made me the person that I am today. So teaching profession is really, you can't say enough about the teachers. And going through this virtual, I have the I don't know what you want to call it, but I have a 5-year-old grandson that lives with me, and I'm doing the Zoom teaching with him in the mornings. And then I feel so sorry for the teacher trying to keep a group of kindergartners' attention for more than 5 minutes. So really kudos to the teaching profession for getting through the pandemic, and hopefully that, everyone, including the parents, are learning something from this. It's something that is nothing more important than an education. There's only one thing that can solve every problem that we face, and that is an education. So I am education, education, education. It is the answer to all our problems. So you're right. What you've said so far with Friends, the small town, even though we are huge, 70,000 people, it still has that small town. I can make a couple of phone calls, and in a matter of hours, we'll have a number of people here giving whatever we've asked for. Our food bank, people have been so generous with every organization that we have asked for help in. And we've had to ask for help a little bit more over the last few months that we normally do. So we're so thankful for the people of Old Bridge, their generosity. You can't say enough about them.
Well, I think we're all good, Mayor Henry. We just
You
want
have
to
to have
say
something bad. Come on, you got to give me something to work on.
no.
Everything
I
isn't
think
that great.
I think it's good. I think we're all good, and we just wanted to just say again, thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day and just sitting down with me and Emmy, and we truly really appreciate it.
No, I really, like I said, I relish the opportunity to please, feel free to call on me. And if there is a problem, that's when you really need to reach out to me. Not only for the good stuff, but I need the bad stuff too, in order to make it and try to help you. Whatever you need, I'm here. All you and your friends, your underclassmen. One of the things I've always done was get out into the schools, because I know that you are the future.